how you obviously started vibing with Hex, whichever way that works, and then you were like, okay, now I'm at the point where I want to create a project that benefits Hex, and being a smart guy, like I know you are. It's like you knew that there was going to be backlash. You knew that this wasn't just going to be a great thing for every person, and there was going to be no stress. So just walk us all the way through that if you can, because there's a lot of people that are going to be curious about your insights on a lot of those things.
Yeah, so the reason why Dodeca you also have to reason why, like, why not other coins. So I love the community initiatives that are coming out, like Pulse Doge. It was launched almost perfectly. It was I don't want to. Was it the first meme token given to Hexkins only?
I don't know, but it was a fat sack of
It,
cash, and I was really crazy that that went down. So I'm gonna give them a freaking hats off to them, because that was like, how did I get that free money in my account? Thank you
yeah,
so much. So I know just by that fact, the fact that it's still going, that you're so right on that. That drop was pretty legit.
yeah. So like there's not much critique that you can say against Pulse Doge. Like the entire supply, I mean, some was given to liquidity but then burned. The entire supply was given to Hexkins, right? And then you have things like Wise with not Wise, Wait. I messed that up all the way with Cool Tokenomics.
Also getting fat stacked in my MetaMask. I
Yeah,
noticed it's going up in value rather quickly.
yeah, I
I
love
haven't looked
the
into that
interesting
recently.
tokenomics that are attached to projects that enrich or contribute to the community. That's awesome. But the ones I hate are controversy sells, so PZN sucks. Like I wanted to make Dodeca like the opposite of PZN. Like you shouldn't have to wait a week and a half to realize, oh wait, 68% of the supply went to the founder in the first three transactions. Why was this not transparent at all? Right? There's
Yes,
better ways to do this.
I agree.
Like it's just leeching from the community, and if we can instead have a standard which starves these coins of attention and capital, it's better.
And okay, you got a lot of guys in here that think you're a fucking thief.
Yeah,
And that's just the way life works.
yeah, yeah.
That's just the way life works. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, I'm known now, so some
no,
percentage
no,
is
but
just yeah.
exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and say you're street smart enough to let that just go, because you know that game. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You know that game. So what would you say to those guys? Why you? Why you? What's your incentive structure like? What in your life has made you want to do something that benefits anyone else? And I'm just saying in general, like usually at the bottom of a founder, like there is some ethos of like, if like you were talking to Sam, like Sam would be like, I want to make $1 billion, but I only want to do it if I change the world or do something, right?
Yeah.
Like he wants to be impactful. So how is this impactful? All that stuff. Like how did you think that this could be beneficial and everyone could jive with it? And what can you say to all the haters out there?
Okay, well, I want Hex to pump. Hex is the most cyberpunk cryptocurrency since Ethereum. I said that. Like, if the Hex price is better, I think cryptocurrency is better. Not to mention, I got some big bags, right? Like, I'm my portfolio is heavy, 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 heavy Hex. So if the Hex price goes up, I'm a happy guy. Big smiles, right? So if I can help pump Hex in any way and remove all these leeches and things that are just have no direct impact on Hex, Pulse, or Pulse X. I also don't like the competition. You can't directly compete with Richard products, like if you're doing an exchange like Uniswap, I don't like that. If you're doing like hex clones, like I learned early on that the OA was like the biggest feature. Everyone liked to FUD it and everything, but people launched hex clones without the OA, failed completely. The OA is a very, 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 very important feature of Hex.
I could
Very, very,
not,
very, very, very
could
important.
not agree more. I could not, and that same ethos is important in other projects, but that ethos is what's important. We trust Alex from Hedron now. Whether he dumps all that shit or whatever, dude. I'm not,
Yeah.
but people legit trust him and he legit knows that. So
Yeah.
it's like, where does that come in? Where is there an aspect of trust here? Because at some point, if you want your project to be popping, there has, in my opinion, now that's just my opinion. Obviously, Bitcoin did it with Mr. Magical Satoshis, but where does that come into play? Are you in the position where you want to be someone who's in front of the camera talking about this product, really spreading the word, or having a team of people that do so, whatever you do?
I mean, I had already shown my face. I've been on Discord Syndicate, like Wake Up Hex with Kinetics. I've done a bunch of streams with Staked Wealth. So there was really no downside for me to show my face. Like, people were going to find the videos anyway. Like, I can't get out of this. It's like, I got to show my face. I'm confident. Like, there's no reason not to. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what
And
do you
like,
think
I
about?
don't,
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
I used to live stream Hearthstone, so I have a little experience. In my early days, I used to try Twitch, so I have a little public speaking. I'd be awful if I didn't have that, so I'm lucky. But I'm sorry, what was the question?
I don't know.
I got lost.
There's an aspect of an adoption here, and there's an aspect of marketing here. Sam, is that true?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I just want to make sure
It's,
the
Oh,
word's
okay.
right.
I
Yeah.
caught it. Okay,
um,
so it's Alex from Hedron, right?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So he did it the right way, where you try to protect your product from all like sources of FUD, criticism, or whatever. Like, it was launched fairly. The founder didn't own any exorbitant amount of supply. It was transparent. He didn't like the ICOSA thing was sick. He did that perfectly. The no insider information. Like I love that. That's what I try to do for Dodeca. Like the no insider information, nobody owns everything or nobody knows anything. Everyone's on the exact same page, same information,
It's critical.
none of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So many projects don't put any weight on there, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just keep the how we're getting paid secretive, and how we're gonna extract value secretive." And the amount of trust that erodes by doing that is crazy. Like, and people think it's an intelligent thing to do, and you cut off a giant portion of smart people with lots of money because of that non-transparency of how somebody's getting paid. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like that. And then I I saw somebody's comment about Dodeca here. I think you probably thought about this, but the person who's going to buy Dodeca or use Dodeca is probably not going to be the person who's going to be purchasing Hex to
No.
start with. Yes. So you want to talk about that a little bit because I've seen it come up here as well. You got two different audiences there.
Yeah. So my old friend group was not interested in cryptocurrency. Trust me, I tried multiple times. I'm like, dude, Dogecoin, I made like 10 grand a day in 2017. Like, oh, I'm a genius, dude, get in. Like, I just couldn't convince them. And then NFTs came around in 2021. And lo and behold, everyone got in. Like the most important thing is getting people in. And unfortunately, sometimes that's in the garbage. But if you eventually they'll get into the good things. So if you can like force their hand into that, it's good. So Hex was launched. It was marketed kind of like a scam. It was marketed as a scam to the people that were getting scammed by the actual scams. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the marketing was kind of sketch, but it worked. The marketing worked. And if there's meme coin guys that will not buy hats, they're into meme coins. Like I don't know what to say. Like the NFT guys too. Like they're
No,
always gonna.
the
There's
guys
always
that play games will buy games.
yeah.
Like
You can't stop
if
it.
you're playing Call of Duty all day and spending thousands of dollars on that, like that makes no sense. But
Yeah.
people are doing that exactly that.
The same thing goes in the fitness industry for the vast majority of supplements. Like are just utter garbage and a complete waste of somebody's time and money because they're not actually selling to the fitness enthusiasts who understand how things work. They're selling to the people who I'm going to say lowest common denominator or just lack of understanding or just don't get what's actually happening yet. And that's who buys that shit because they know it doesn't, like, we know that shit doesn't work. Same exact thing we go to supplements. 97% of the shit doesn't work very well, right? And the same thing with like meme coins from like utility standpoint, right? So why not have something out there that these people can utilize that also aids the community instead of siphoning cash off of the community or resources away from the community by having something out there that allows people to have a meme coin to trade with. How do you plan on driving adoption, or how do you plan on like marketing it to try to accelerate adoption? Because adoption is definitely happening, but
Yeah, I think it's kind of coded in there. Like there's pumpamentals, there's incentives. I think it'll just kind of do it on its own. And we're already kind of seeing it. Like there's people in the chat that haven't really all that much hex, but they'll get some hex from this. Like if they get into something which will get them introduced to hex, or if they're just getting into meme coins and they're going to get wrecked anyway, they might as well get some hex over here.
Interesting. This is cool. So did you do all the coding, or do you have a team behind you? Because I noticed I didn't see a white paper, but it looks very clean.
Yeah.
It's not like the UI of Curve Finance or something that's very like not
It's just
great. Oh wow, okay. So you did the website as well as all of the Solidity and everything?
Yeah, I did everything.
Wow. Congrats, dude. That's a lot of effort you put in there.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest takeaways you noticed or from your learning as you went through and taught yourself all this?
So I wanted a ton more features to be in Dodeca, but it just couldn't happen. The audit caught a bunch of things. Like especially I could have launched and it could have failed. Let me walk you through one of the ways we worked around. So if you launch Dodeca and the first transaction after you launch is the distribution, it won't work because it's going to attempt to put 1% of the transaction in the liquidity pool, but the liquidity pool doesn't exist. So the coin will just, it's dead, right? So the work around that is you do an airdrop and a claim. So instead of just the coins appearing in your wallet, you have to do the claim, which avoids the Dodeca tokenomics from triggering. If that makes sense. So
yes.
that was
Okay.
one
So
of the.
I don't think we for people who didn't watch yesterday, can you give us the elevator pitch of the tokenomics of how Dodeca works? Because we didn't cover it today. We covered it yesterday, but we haven't covered it today. So like, the 3%, the 1%, and the 1% thing. Can you talk about each one of those a little bit?
Yeah. So you could argue that hex or not hex, Dodeca is hyper deflationary because it's unique that it's on every transaction, not just buys and sells. Every transaction will trigger the tax. So 3% will go to buy hex on Uniswap and then distribute to holders of over 369 Dodeca, which is one of the most unique fundamentals, I feel, because that's not usually included, where there's like a minimum to get the dividends. So I'm not exactly I think it was around $50 to $70, I think, is the limit or the requirement. So you could think of it as like an NFT with the theoretical amount of holders decreases over time. So in theory, that's a price positive fundamental.
So it's kind of the tightness of this and the people getting in kind of helps them by earning that hex that they maybe couldn't have earned by DCAing on their own. Like it gives them a little bit of an advantage because on their own, maybe they didn't have enough financial capital, but this way they can get like a stream of it by being in a lower liquidity asset off the jump if it takes off. And that's kind of where I want to know, like, more like, how do you plan on making this thing popular as fuck?
Well, that goes back to like protecting Dodeca against most points of criticism, where I own none of the coins. I own none of the liquidity. It's all like community driven. What else? I can't change the code. It's out there. It's alive. It's been live for, where is the transaction? Like an hour and 41 minutes. Like it's gone.
What's the ticker symbol? I'm gonna see if I can pull it up on Nomics. Or it might not show up there, but
no, it won't be on any of those yet. I submitted all the you got to submit your token information to, it should show up in 24 hours. I think that's what the email said.
Yeah, you could probably just scan it on Uniswap or something, or onto your front end from the code on the website.
Yeah.
so you have and I don't know, I'm just gonna touch the five, it's basically 5%. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yeah,
So
yeah. So the other 2% is 1% is added to the liquidity. So over time, there will be a locked liquidity pool. So no one will have to provide their liquidity themselves, but there will be a massive incentive to. Because there's people that are going to want to market make this. Because the founder won't be market making it. I don't have enough coins. Like that profit is going to go to whoever wants to manipulate or push the price, or if there's a whale that wants to do stuff. Like that's all out of my hands. So it should be completely natural price growth.
Interesting. Are you doing any and then there's 1%, you said 1% buy
Oh yeah,
and burn.
and then 1% will buy and burn Dodeca.
So 5%, 3% goes into the dividend. 1% of the 5% goes into burning Dodeca so that the supply will decrease, which if you have a constant or increasing level of demand should be positive for the price. And then the liquidity, 1% of the 5% tax is going to the added to the liquidity pool on Uniswap. What's that paired with? USDC or?
I'm hoping we can adhere to Hart's Law and do Dodeca to Hex, because you'll also save gas fees by saving the extra hop in Uniswap. You don't have to go through Ethereum or USDC. You can just have the pair next to each other. So you can go in and out without the extra hop.
So Dodeca and Hex, that's where the pair is right now.
I'm not sure there's a pair right now.
Sam,
Oh yeah,
this
there
launched
is.
like hours ago.
Oh, but I thought once it launched, is if there's any transactions, then it automatically got set up, or is that not
No.
full
So
understanding?
I explained before that can't happen. Because if you want to have the coin without the founder having owned none of the supply, you have to do the airdrop. Because if I just sent the coins to everyone, it wouldn't work. Because there's no liquidity.
But it's been out for 2 hours, right?
Yes,
I would
there's
think, but I don't
liquidity.
know. There should be at least one transaction, right? Which would cause
Yes.
the creation of the pool, or no?
I literally launched it like 20 minutes before hopping on.
Oh, dope.
There's
Okay.
liquidity now, but like, yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
going to take over time.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Completely
This
out of
is
my
interesting.
control. It's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. No, it just is what it is at this point, and you've already done all the front loaded work, and it's up to the people to decide what in the website's down here, guys, and the telegram's down here. You know, if this project goes the way you want it to go, then people will see and you will be praised heavily. So just understand that, like all the bad things that go on, but these people are fucking insane. You know that, and they look at every little detail. And it makes it stressful for me, yes, but at the same time, I'm grateful that they do it because they do look at every little detail. But I'm under the impression that you would be aware of this. And, everyone's going to mention the tax, right? Like that's so, for example, why doesn't the profit just buy Hex 100%? Why only the 3% tax? So just for an example for the tax, and just give them the whole layout for the tax thing, because
That doesn't make any sense.
but just in general, don't worry about that question. Exactly.
Okay.
Just worry about the tax question. Like when it comes to these taxes, people are going to try to poke holes in anything they can.
Okay.
Where are all the fees going, and is there a profit margin for you? Just so
No.
So what is the tax structure on this exactly?
3% is the dividend to Hex, 1% goes to liquidity, 1% is buy and burn Dodeca. There's no other
No, that makes sense.
special function or
Question more on the semantics of the pool for LP. So
okay.
you touched on it's not created, right? But 1% goes into every transaction, right? Goes into a pool for LP. So
Correct.
how semantically, like what steps need to take place, assuming there's a handful of transactions now? How does that actually get set up? If in like, so there's a certain portion, say it's $100 that's locked right now for allocation to LP. how does that get, what triggers that to actually be set into the pool?
It just does it automatically in the transaction. It's just added into the transaction.
So
There's
then
no extra.
how do, if that's the case, then wouldn't you already know if it's with Hex or ETH or USDC pair?
I don't understand the question. I mean, there's liquidity now. I haven't checked what it is. Like there have been trades. I haven't. You want me to check right now?
Okay, so maybe I don't have an understanding of liquidity, but
Yeah,
locked, right? So if I'm thinking of liquidity, right, I'm looking, and it's going to be pairs or something, right? Is that
yes,
okay? So if I'm locking liquidity, then it's going to be locking with another pair. Is that on the
correct.
same page? Okay. So
Correct.
if this is a locked liquidity, what is it locked with? What's the other side of that?
Whatever is in the liquidity pool. Does that make sense?
No.
If the liquidity pool is majorly Dodeca versus Hex, that's what it'll do.
How does the semantics of locked liquidity work? It just says this is locked, and then it just puts it wherever people are going into.
Yes, it adds it to the Uniswap V2 liquidity pool, and it won't have an owner.
Okay, so wherever somebody sets up a pool with Dodeca,
Correct.
then it will just automatically add it to that pool. And then
But like it won't be attached to the pool. It'll have its own ownerless.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Okay, but so say if that pool were to go away, would it kind of like be like pulled and then put into another pool, or would that
No,
stay
it
by
can't
itself?
be pulled. It's ownerless.
So it's going to stay with
Nothing.
whatever the initial pair is permanently.
Unless there's another pair with more liquidity.
Okay, so it's gonna migrate to whatever pair has the highest
Yes, but I really do hope I recommended Dodeca versus Hex. It would work way better with Hart's Law. Way better.
Okay. This is interesting because I didn't fully understand how that works, so I appreciate you taking the time to explain that and answer the questions on that, because I wasn't sure how locked liquidity works. Is there multiple different ways or is that how when a protocol or a token says that there's locked liquidity, that is how it's almost always structured, is how you described it there? Because this is new information to me, and I appreciate you teaching me.
I mean, sometimes it's like locked where the founder takes some liquidity, puts it in, and then does a lock where he can't touch it for a certain amount of months. But in this case, it's essentially locked forever.
Okay, interesting. This is fascinating stuff. I really appreciate Matthew coming on, just being open and transparent on this, and that I'm learning about the locked liquidity through talking with you. So this has been awesome. Is there any other last words or thoughts, or like how people can get in touch with you? Because I'm sure people might have other questions as well.
Yeah, so I have both 369 Hex and Hex 369 on Twitter. I grabbed them both early on, but 369 Hex, it got suspended because I was spamming my Hex referral link so hard in late 2020. It got me in the fucking spam filter. So I got it back with the Elon Musk debacle. I was like, maybe I just send an email. I got it back instantly. So I was able to swap out names and get back my 369 Hex.
Okay, so
Twitter.
which one do you use most? Which one?
369 Hex. And then Hex 369 was where I attempted to do like a prophecy for Hex. Like I was really intrigued by the time traveler Bitcoin posts, or like the guys with the super clairvoyant charts. And I attempted to do that myself. I'm not exactly sure how well I did, but
Cool. And then you have a Telegram for Dodeca?
yeah.
What's
T.me/Dodeca crypto.
T.me/Dodeca crypto.
Mhm.
Cool. Awesome. GRC, do you have any closing thoughts here before we wrap things up? Matthew,
No,
this
I'm
has been
just
awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. This is kind of how it goes, man. You gotta, if it's not always easy to talk about all this shit, it's just not. Like, and if you're gonna be transparent and put your face out there, which is a huge step, and I know you were doing that before, but it's a
100%.
huge step for guys like us. I didn't never, you can't see everyone all the time. So I think it's important that you just push, makes marketing wise, like however that works. I don't know exactly how it works because of the rules, but pushing, what you believe in and showing people why you're doing this is going to be really important for them to understand and getting that community built. But dude, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me. I really respect what you guys are doing.
Hey, man, I appreciate
I appreciate like learning about the locked liquidity. While I was asking you about that is very fascinating information to me because I had no idea how that actually worked. So thank you for that. Thank you for being open and honest and structuring it a way where it's not like, pulling money from the community and where you're not like, hey, well, this piece of it over here is kind of hidden because that's how I'm going to be paid on it, and just being open and transparent about all that.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, we'll talk to you soon. If you ever need anything, or feel free to reach out. I'm over on Twitter as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, you guys.
Hey, man, good luck. Good job launching that thing. That takes a lot of work, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Peace out, guys.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker. Rich heart. Rich heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. .1 every day we mark. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm rich at heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my Metamax moving. Look at the hex, yeah, it's mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pro chains out, gonna get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died, collect. Hex had me eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this bag like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this bag like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm rich at heart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing